it's Cassie with Cassie's Parlor, and today we are going to make a sweet shaker ornament out of supplies from the Maker's Movement. So this is going to be super fun. It really is just going to be die cutting and assembling. So very simple. You can make tons of these if you need last minute gift ideas, or even not just for Christmas. This could just be for winter time as a home decor piece. So we've got this set here that has all of the parts that are needed, called Shaker Ornament Set. Die set, sorry. We've got double-sided adhesive foam that we'll be using to make the shaker, as well as clear acetate sheets, okay? And I've also got some really pretty different kinds of cardstock here to cut all of this out of and embellish and make beautiful. And then we also have Maker's Movement snowflakes sprinkles. Alright, so that is what we're going to use today to make our project. So really first, the most important part is to get everything cut out. So I first need to decide what is going to be cut out of what, and get all of those pieces ready, and then we'll bring our crossover 2 up and get to cutting. So I think this glitter, silver glitter, is going to be mainly for the snowflakes, and I'm just going to cut everything out, and then I'll sort of play with my layout and decide what I want to use, what I don't want to use, whatever. Actually, I'm going to cut most of it out. I don't think I'm going to use the star or the moon or this extra tree necessarily, so I might not cut those out, but like these layered pieces, the top, and then of course the circles, I'm definitely going to be using those. This is just going to be a really fun, simple ornament card, okay? So I don't think I'm going to have more room for more than 2 of these, so I think that's going to be just fine. Okay, so then we are definitely going to need some adhesive back foam that will create our shaker. Alright, so I'm going to get a piece of this out, and that will be done with this die. So I'm just sort of cutting things out, making sure they're the right size so that I can get as much through the crossover 2 at once as possible. I like to cut everything all at once and get it over with, and then get to the fun part of assembling and creating your project. So this is going to cut out of here, but this is also going to need to cut out of this really pretty, where is it? This dark blue. So I want to cut it out of the dark blue and the silver because I can't decide which one I want to use as the outside of the ornament. So I'm going to cut both, and then I'll just have both of them to be able to play and figure it out. And whatever's left over, I always save my scraps anyway to make other things out of. So that is going to be that. This is for the acetate sheet. So let's get our clear acetate sheets. Now they look blue, but that's because they have a protective film over them, so that once you can see them, because once that once that clear film is, the blue film is taken off, it's pretty much impossible. Let's see if this fits. I really love to use my scraps as much as possible. You can see I don't really throw anything away. So we're going to cut this circle out of acetate, plus we will need to cut that out of the background. So we need to decide what that is going to be as well. Okay, so let's see, where are we now? Whoops. I don't want to lose any pieces. I'm going to stick all these little guys to this sticky bit here so that I don't lose them. There we go. Okay, we've got the top of the ornament, and again that is going to be out of the blue and the silver, and I think there's enough extra here that I can just use that because that's going to be the part that puts, you know, the finishing touches on, really. And then we have these 2 layers. I'm still thinking about what I want the back of my ornament to be. Maybe just white cardstock. I might need to get some white here. Then we have 2 layers here, and these are super pretty. And you can see they offer a bit of depth when you see they're 2 separate, and then you can make them in different colors and add some depth. So those I'm going to do out of these 2 different blue. There's like this light icy blue, probably almost looks silver in the screen, but it really is like a really light blue, and then there's a slightly darker blue. So both of these, I'm going to cut the lighter one out of the lighter blue with the front piece. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this back piece out of the darker blue. So this is just kind of how I prep and get everything ready for my die cutting. All right, so now I think I just need the white for the background. Okay, here's my white. Uh-oh, I flipped it over, it's okay. I'm gonna just use this. It's a nice, thick, heavyweight Neenah cardstock. It's gonna be great for the base of this, just to give it some extra stability. Okay, so now I've got all my pieces. I'm gonna put this aside since we're not cutting those out. And you can see I've got it all kind of mapped out here, ready to go. All right, and now we'll bring up the crossover 2 and get to cutting. Get everything ready and set up. We've got the number right. So now I'm going to set everything on top of this metal plate, and then we will put the cutting plate on top and be ready to go. So I will do the foam separately just because it's quite a bit thicker than the rest of it. But otherwise, actually we need to lay them face up. Alright, so you notice I can put each section up here and cut them out all together because we've got a nice big surface to cut out on. Alright, so getting all the pieces, just lining them right up. Okay, and so here I've got 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to go through both of them at once. Alright, so that goes there. And then I'm going to just stick both of these right over top, and that should work just fine. Same thing with the acetate and the white cardstock. I think that I'll be able to go through both of those at once. Let's put this on first to make sure, and then we'll just let that drop right on top. Yeah, I was worried about that. Okay, come on now. The acetate sheet is very slippery, so hopefully that stays. Are we good? We just have the foam left, so I think we're good. So I'm carefully going to put this cutting plate over the top. There we go, and let's run it through. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Ooh, it looks pretty good. Alright, so this one, because there were a couple of layers there, it just stayed right down on the thing. Look at it, went through both layers, no problem whatsoever. So we really just need these outer layers. And remember, I'm going to choose either the silver or the blue, but look at how pretty those are. So we just need these outer pieces, but we did also get some really awesome circles. So I'll definitely save these and use these on another project. So I just like to start, you know, taking all of this apart, getting all of the pieces, putting them off to the side, getting rid of the scraps, and then we can move on to the last cutting piece, and then we can put the machine away. So there's the tops of those. They both cut out beautifully, and everything is just perfect here. All right, so at this point it's really just about assembly of all of these pieces, okay? So because we've got some intricate die cuts, I'm going to be using a dotty tape pen that just has a bunch of tiny little dots in a tape pen that you can wheel across easily. There are lots of different ways that you can stick intricate die cut pieces together. So whatever works best for you or whatever you have in your stash will be great, okay? So I'm just sort of setting up all the pieces so we can get this put together and design our layout a little bit. Look at how nicely these two layer on top of each other. It looks so cool when you have the different colors there to provide some separation. Okay, so this is our base, all right? We cut it out of just plain white cardstock. And then we are going to put on the circle on top. Then we are going to put the acetate on, and then we are going to put our scene on top of this. So we'll have these two layers. I'm just sort of setting this up and thinking about how am I going to build it. This is how I walk through it, and then we'll use these snowflakes, and I'm going to cut them in half and maybe do another one. So, or maybe I'll just do it like that. That looks actually really pretty. So really we're just going to stick all this together, put some shaker bits inside, and we've got an awesome ornament. And look at, I mean, it's just super fast to make, and going to be really cute. So I'm first taking off the backing of the foam piece that we cut, okay? And I'm sticking this right down to my base, which is just that plain white cardstock. Making sure I get it nice and lined up right to the edge, okay? So this also has a top carrier sheet, you know, protective layer over that so the adhesive isn't exposed yet. Leave that intact for a moment, okay? Because next we are going to put shaker bits in here, and we don't want them to stick to that outside edge. So I'm just going to put some in the middle. And these are thicker, so you actually want to be careful that they're all kind of laying flat and in one layer, because actually I'm going to do something a little different this time. Because if they stick up, they get stuck and they can't move around as easily. So I'm actually, normally I put a lot in here, but I have an idea, because we're going to be putting this acetate sheet over it, and we really don't want the shaker parts to be hanging out underneath this, right? Because we want it to be in the sky, shaking in the sky. So I think what I want to do is cut out another piece of foam that is the same as this back piece. Okay, and then I'll cut off the top so that they can't go under here. So I'm gonna bring the crossover tube back out, cut a piece there, and then we'll keep moving on. Okay, so now I have the foam piece that is the same as this hill, and we're going to put it right in the bottom of this so that those shaker parts don't go down there. And I'm cutting off the house and the tree because I don't care about that part. This is just to create a barrier. So it will just sit right in there like that, and I think that will work great. So taking the backing off of it, sticking it down in here, right to the edge. There we go, perfect. Okay, so now these shaker bits are only going to stay in the top section. I hope that makes sense. So I think we have enough here. This is going to be really, really pretty. So the next thing we need to do is take the blue lining off the acetate sheet so we can stick it over the top of this, and then it will essentially be a shaker, and then we'll just decorate the shaker. I could see making lots and lots of these, you know, all at the same time. You could really do assembly line with this and make a bunch. You could put them on packages, on gifts. You could put them on your tree or just decorate wherever. You could put them in the window, like in your house, whatever. I mean, there's lots of ways you could use these. They're so cute and fun. So right now I'm just taking that that protective sheet off of there. So now we have exposed adhesive, and it's very sticky, so you want to be careful. All right. And now we have peeled off the protective coating of the acetate, so you can't see it, but I'm holding the acetate here, and we're just going to stick it over here so it can just be a window. So I'm going to try to line it up on the bottom. These tend to like to be a little staticky, so I try to start away from where the shaker parts are, and then let it fall on that, so because they like to pop up a little bit. This worked out pretty much perfectly. That never happens that easy for me. So because that has adhesive on it now, this is really nice and sticky, and it takes a minute for them to kind of get settled, but there we go. Now we've got the shaker part ready, so now we just have to decorate and add some embellishments. So next we're going to put these pieces down that we've cut out, and I'll be using my Dottie tape pen here, especially for these little parts. I like them to be stuck down because I don't want them to accidentally get knocked or something, or hit and tear off. So I'm going to follow that line of the where we put the foam, just so it lines up and so we can hide it. That's the most important part, is that we want to hide that. And then do the same thing here with my second layer. Now this is just going to be mainly, you know, a decorative part, so we're not hiding anything. So I'm going to line it up with the bottom and try to keep it nice and straight. There we go. Look at how pretty this is already, coming together really, really well. All right. And then we have a couple of snowflakes. Now I don't mind if these go over the edge because we're going to cut that off, and then we've got the topper to go on here to cover that foam. So we will be just fine. So I'm going to just put some adhesive all over the back of this so that I can stick it wherever I want, and then we'll just cut off the excess. I kind of like it right here. I also don't want too much on the front here on the top because I like the snowflakes that are in the shaker too. So we want to make sure and leave room for you to be able to see those, right? So, but I think these two here just add a little nice touch to it. I'm gonna cut off the excess here right up to the edge. Actually, I think I want more intricate scissors here, just to make sure I'm getting right to the edge. That'll be important because you don't want it to, you don't want to see it through that, this circle here. So, okay, we're looking really, really good. So now we have to decide, do I want blue? Wow, that's really pretty. So do I want blue here, or do I want silver? Do I want to keep it nice and light, or do I want to add a really nice bold frame? And I think I'm leaning toward the blue. I think it's very striking and quite beautiful actually. So yeah, I really like the blue. I think that looks super, super great. So we're going to put this on, but remember we also have to put the top piece on, okay? Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the others and just use my dotty tape pen here. You use whatever adhesive works great for you for, you know, for intricate dies. All right, and we're going to stick that over the edge. So we're mainly just covering up the foam circle that is making this a shaker, okay? Oh, that's so, so gorgeous. Okay, then we just have to stick this top part on and put a little ribbon in there so we can actually hang it if we want to. You know, this would be really cute also, I just thought of this, but like if you wanted to send someone a Christmas card and then also give them an ornament to hang, put on the tree, you could sign the back of it here, and you could put this on the front of a card. It's really, really gorgeous, and then they could take it off and hang it on their tree, so then they get a card and an ornament. I think that would be really fun. So I've just got some thin gold ribbon here, and I'm gonna cut a little piece off and stick it through, and this is, you know, this is the easy part, right? And then we'll just make our knot and we'll be done. I mean, how long did it take to make this? Like, the cutting out part is the longest part, and that's not even difficult, you know, it's just, you just have to cut it out and choose your papers and all of that. And afterwards, it's just sticking things together. I mean, you could make a whole bunch of these. I love it when I can mass produce things that are super cute and easy to do in no time. So there, let me give you a little close-up. There we are. Super cute shaker ornament. That could be a decoration, it could be on the front of a card, it could be so many things. So I hope that you had fun here today and found some inspiration. If you want to learn more about the Makers Movement, please visit themakersmovement.com to find all of these great supplies and so much more. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.